Hey guys, it's Cute Steph and welcome back to another video. So today's really exciting because the Sailor Moon movie just came out, Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1 and 2 on Netflix. Speaking of Sailor Moon, we got Luna up here. You might see her in a second. Here, let's see. Just right there, my cat Luna. Yes, so the Sailor Moon movie came out on the 3rd. Today is, what is today? I just watched it last night and today's the 4th, yeah. So I watched it last night when it came out and it was amazing, y'all. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about it. I used to do reaction videos to Sailor Moon Crystal. I did literally season 2 and season 3. I didn't do season 1 because I didn't start until later, but I did do like a good chunk of episodes. I didn't make a reaction this time because it was Netflix and I don't know, it can be a little bit more, you know, content, copyright heavy, you know. I didn't want to risk anything, and I also didn't really know if you could record, like screen record Netflix. I know you can't on your phone, it kind of goes black. So I don't know, I just didn't want to risk anything, blah blah blah. In a perfect world I would have, which would have been awesome because it's been like five years since the last one. Am I crazy? I don't remember when season 3 came out, but I think I was in early high school, late middle school, I don't know, but it's been quite a bit, and now I'm a sophomore in college, so if that tells you anything, holy crap. Anyway, so we're going to talk about this movie. I took some notes during it and we're just going to kind of go through it, and I'm going to tell you like my comments on different things. So the movie starts out, Chibiusa was trying to go to the 30th century, but obviously it stops when the eclipse happens, which I've actually seen an eclipse, so kind of hit close to home. I was like, that's kind of cool because I have too. Anyway, so then the eclipse happens, the Dead Moon Circus comes, and they start to ruin everybody's plans. I do want to say that this is my favorite arc, I think, out of the manga. When I first read the manga, I think it's my favorite arc. I'll have to reread it. I've purposely not reread it because I was trying to, like, you know, experience the movies and in the show, you know, kind of with like a not as fresh memory, you know, because I kind of was surprised, honestly, in this movie for certain things. Back when I first read it, this was my favorite arc, and I think it still is, honestly. But we'll see when the last one comes out. I'm really excited to see. Hopefully the last one does get animated and it comes out, because that is the most different from the 90s anime. It was, season 5 is like the biggest changes that happen, so it's literally going to be completely different, y'all. So I really want to see that. Let's talk about this movie. The animation was amazing, like top notch. Just makes me a little bit more triggered that the first 2 seasons were kind of, you know, messed up, whatever. Makes me so mad, but it's okay. This looked beautiful. I watched it on my big screen. It was awesome. I love the outfits. Now that's what I want to talk about a little bit, is the outfits were amazing, and I went ahead and my manga's over there. I flipped through the manga right after I watched all of it, and all of the outfits in the movie are exact from the manga, like exact replicas. And it's kind of crazy, like those were from the 90s, but they were so cute and I would wear them today. So I just loved the fashion in it. Everybody looked great. One moment is when Setsuna is wearing that freaking crop top. Like, go off. It's weird to see them in like Scandi clothes a little bit, you know, because obviously the old anime was for kids, so they didn't, you know, exactly do like adult fashion. So it was just cool to see that. When I did flip through it as well, just like every single moment that happens in the movie is also exact to the manga, which is so crazy. I do want to say the only thing that was different was during Venus, when like Artemis turns into a human for a second. This is I'm so sorry. Should I do a spoiler warning for this video? Yeah, spoilers. Sorry, we're gonna talk about spoilers today. So whenever Venus and Artemis catches her and he turns human, that actually was kind of split in the middle. Right before he turned human, they actually went to the outer senshi and showed that whole bit, and then went back to Venus in that situation. So I like how they did it for the movie. Like, they weren't just gonna throw them in at the end of the first one. I like how they, like, you know, put him in the second one. That was the only change that I saw. but I think it was probably a good choice because it was split in two. I love the switch when Chibiusa gets old and Usagi goes young, you know. I just love that. Like, it was one of the things in the original anime that, like, you're like, oh, I'm so glad that was, like, still in the manga, you know what I mean? One thing I just hate, and I'm glad she finally, I guess, got over it, but I hate it when Chibiusa likes Mamoru. Like, I just hate it so much. Like, I get it, but I also hate it. So I'm glad that that's kind of over with. That's the last I think we see of that, so that's great. What my sister actually said during the movie is we kind of support Jacob from Twilight liking a baby more than this. So the first movie was mainly about the inner senshi doing their like little, you know, they get paired with, you know, Tiger's Eye, whatever. The first one definitely reminds you of the old anime because they used to always do that, you know, like just go through each character going through their own situation. And just speaking of that, like, Ami's mom was in it, which I see, those were the little things. Like, there's some things I remember from the manga, but stuff like that, like, I did not remember. So Ami's mom was in it. Also, just like the thing with like Ami's mom making out with somebody in the hallway. What the heck was that? Was that her dad? I don't really know. I should have paid more attention. But like, I was like, oh my god, like imagine if the 90s anime like had them making out in the hallway. I just thought it was so like funny and like what? I don't know. We saw Mars's grandpa. He did not look like he did in the 90s anime, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, I did check in the manga, like I said, I flipped through it. He does look like that in the manga, so the 90s anime is what was wrong. So I totally forgot that they were animals, and well, I knew they were animals, but I forgot that they were animals in the manga first, then you see them transform, so you know they're animals from the beginning. Remember in the 90s anime, we were all like, whoa, they were actually animals, you know, and that sad little moment where they, you know, turn back into animals, we were like, oh, they want to be human, whatever. But this, you know, they totally kind of cut that out. Also, they die so quickly, it made my heart hurt. I was like, oh my god, we need to see more of them. It's just, you know, the pacing's so quick in the manga, but at least we have the 90s anime to give them the proper arc that they deserve. Okay, so on to Jupiter. I love how her and Chibiusa had that little moment where they were cooking together. I thought that was so cute. Just seeing them in like a different situation, because like usually Chibiusa's with Usagi, you know, but it was cool to see her like hang out with the other, you know, senshi. Love how Venus is like going through her like leadership arc, kind of like she doesn't feel like she's a good leader. I also was kind of upset that the villains called her the weakest. Did you guys hear that? They were like, she's the weakest one, blah blah blah, and I was like, excuse me, she was the one to be, you know, Sailor V first. Like, she has been doing this longest. Like, she's definitely not the weakest. And I also love how she literally called Mars, Jupiter, and Mercury out. Like, she was like, that's been 5 times today that you've talked about the outer senshi. I just love that, because they're never mean to each other, and like that was actually like mean. I just loved how we saw that little moment. You know, I don't support her being sassy and mean to them, but I was like, call him out. Also, I think that was the part where Mars's hair was up in a bun and then part of the hair was out. I just thought that was awful. Oh my gosh. I wrote down a weirdo Riverdale reference because Venus, what does she say? She says something about being weird or something. I was like, that's just like just like Riverdale. The rest of the first movie, Artemis turns into a human, saving Venus. Love how the blood was going down her arm, like whoa, intense. Also, obviously Mamoru like coughing up some blood, some black blood. I was like, yes, let's put a touch of gore into it. I loved it. I just love how, you know, this is like the mature version, but it's also like not too mature, like it's a good, you know, middleman. Then we get an end credit scene. I wish we saw this in theaters because that would have been so fun to wait till the end and see that little end credit scene. You know, like we know what's gonna happen, but like, love it. Loved the beginning of the second movie where we just see the outer senshi just live their lives. I need to flip through the manga. I didn't go through the part really intensely about the outer senshi, but like I don't remember them actually holding like a school for like teaching the violin. I guess I didn't remember, you know, those kids coming. I also don't remember there being like a ghost like the you know, Pegasus, and she used like coming in as like a ghost. Like I was like, whoa. Also kind of exposing their identities a little there with those kids. Oh my gosh, I just want to say all of like the transformations and like the attacks looked amazing. We got a new TV recently, so I don't know if it was because I watched it on the big screen, and of course this is the best quality we've ever gotten from Sailor Moon. Like I don't know if it was that and that, but World Shaking looked amazing. Like I'm gonna put like a clip here because it actually, like, I was like, whoa, that I thought it looked insane. I love how Chibiusa, you know, kind of learns not to compare herself to Usagi. Like this is her moment. I love at the end they give her the little crystal, her own crystal, like you're your own girl, like this is, you have your own crystal, you're different. Thought that was cool. That wasn't in the 90s anime. When Mamoru and Usagi turn into kids, probably the cutest thing, yeah, honestly cutest thing to happen in the entirety of what has ever happened in Sailor Moon anime. Him being such a sweetie because, you know, it was her dream or whatever, was so cute, and they were precious. And then when they come back from that and they transform together, that was so cute. I really loved their relationship in this, you know, two-part movie. Like I love the development. I just love them. I was like, have we really? I feel like the first season is very about them because, you know, they're learning about their past, blah blah blah, but then every season other than that, I don't know if it's as about them as this season was. Like I loved, you know, how they learn about the earth, and like it's very about them and how they have the same mission. I loved it so much. I loved Mamoru's little arc with himself, how he knows he's like the weakest and he can't do too much, but like in this he learns that even though he doesn't have like his attacks and stuff, he can like lend his earth power to everybody else, and you know, so he's not nothing. And I just love how he had that little moment, and then we learn about like his past and like obviously Helios and everybody. Love their princess forms, love the human cats coming in. The end, Mamoru gets his own staff. That was cool. Love his suit also. It's not like the light purple, love the white. Of course, the Amazon Quartet turned into Senshi, and I love how Chibiusa is gonna get her own squad. I think that's the gist of like what I'm gonna talk about today. Just loved everything. Those are just some major points. Obviously, if you're a Sailor Moon geek like me, like let me know your favorite moments in the comments, what, you know, kind of shocked you, what you loved. Just so glad this movie came out. Hoping for that last season. I mean, there's one more season. They have to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All my social medias are in the description. Also, my merch is in the description. Be sure to give this video a like. And if you're not already a Cootie, be sure to subscribe to be a part of the Coot Clan. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!